Yo, what's going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new Locals feature match. We are in round 4 of my Locals Mega Tournament. New format. We've got Bystial Runic on the right versus the most interesting and most fun deck to not only watch, but also to commentate over in the entire game's history, Rescue Ace. Alright, getting into it, we're going to see the Bystial Runic deck lead here with a copy of Bystial Rebellion, which, side note, I do hate Rescue Ace. I do hate watching it. I do hate commentating over it. But the Bystial Runic deck, I will give credit where credit is due. Shout out to Joshua Smith. Not only for, you know, I don't, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if he came up with the deck. I would not be shocked in the slightest if he did. But also shout outs to him for taking such a unique deck like this and actually winning YCS with it. Just goes to show with the right amount of innovation and passion, you can, I mean, especially in an open format like this, you can do well with pretty much anything. Which is honestly one of my favorite things about formats like these, is when they are wide open and anybody can play anything and do well. Yeah, it's kind of cool to see how it's just like just a Synchro 10 engine, not only utilizing the power of the Runic cards, but how the fact that you can just constantly tutor out, you know, varying levels of free non-tuner bodies to pair with things like the Bystials or the level 4 tuners they play, like the Bystial Luber or Ecclesia. Super cool to see. And they're going to go ahead and try to resolve the Diabell Star here. And Fountain also resolving here to put back 3. And they're going to go ahead and use original Sinful Spoils. That is going to go ahead and walk. And that's going to go ahead and bring out a copy of the Fire Hydrant. And then they'll attempt Fire Hydrant effect. That is also going to resolve here. Probably just going to go ahead and grab Airlifter. Surprised the one of didn't get sniped. Although I gotta imagine that's the thing you could probably end up worrying about in this particular matchup. But if it gets banished, as long as it's not getting banished face down, the engine does have a way to get it back via Preventer or HQ, which is really cool. For you Rescue Ace enjoyers, for the 5 of you that are out there. And we're gonna see Airlifter come down and go ahead and search out for Emergency. And they've got Droll, they've got Emergency, they've got another copy of Wanted in hand as well, balling out with the QCR Wanteds. And the QCR Diabell. Also, I think, wait, was the original Sinful Spoils they had not QCR? Did I see that? Did I see that correctly? Not that it's a big issue, but I mean, if you're going to have the QCR Diabells and the Wanted, you gotta get the original Sinful Spoils as well. And I'm not sure if the Baron was already used yet or not, but I imagine they would have used it already at this point. So they're gonna go ahead and link the Linkuriboh into the, or link the Hydrant into Linkuriboh, then into Dark. And Dark is going to go ahead and snatch steal a Bystial Aluber out of the graveyard. I was kind of expecting maybe an SP play there, but maybe we'll see the reason for the extra, you know, step here by going into the Dark. So now we'll see them go ahead and activate Emergency. And I guess this will tell whether or not they've used the Baron negate yet, and it looks like they'll go ahead and use it there. Which I guess makes sense. I don't think that they've really done anything up to this point to warrant using the negate. And I guess you could argue, you know, like, I was talking about this in one of my Saturday Night Locals episodes, but, you know, the whole tunnel vision on interrupting turbulence sometimes isn't always the best thing. Sometimes trying to stop them early is definitely better, so I think that was the route there. And they do go ahead and bring out a Hugin after they summon that SP, which does banish the Fountain, but going for another Hugin here, discarding Ecclesia, will probably just secure them another copy here for next turn anyways. And unlike the Rescue Ace deck, I don't believe the Bystial Runic deck has a way to get fountains back once they are banished. And now we're going to see them activate Rescue here. That's going to revive a Turbulence. And now that all interactions are cleared, we've gotten rid of Fountain, we've baited out Baron, we can go ahead and set 3. Extinguish, Contain, and I believe that was another copy of Emergency. So both traps set there. Some follow-up in the form of Emergency. Yeah, they've got that other Wanted in hand. Battle Phase. They can't attack directly because they use SP's effect on Summon, but they can still just attack. SP will take out the Hugin. That'll get returned to the extra deck. And Turbulence will just crash into the Baron to get that off the field, because you do want to get that off the field. You know, just a free pop on the board. Free 3k body, and also has the potential to recycle, or will bring something out in the standby phase if they choose to do so. And can also easily contest SP Little Knight. So here we're going to go ahead and see him use the Emergency to bring out Preventer, send Preventer, and then Preventer will bring out Impulse. So they have that on the field now, get ready to tag out. And we're going to see them activate Branded Regained, and then activate the Bystial Lubellion in hand, setting itself to go ahead and search off for a Bystial. That's going to add a copy of the one of Bystial Magnamut. And on resolution, they'll go ahead and fire off Droll Knockbird, which honestly does have the potential to be pretty strong here. Going to turn off Fountain Draws. We'll turn off the Magnamut Search in the end phase, and of course the draws they could get from the Regain. So the Magnamut will actually take out a pretty high value target in of Link Karibo in the graveyard, as it has the ability to help make Hydrant dodge things. It's very rare effect. I guess not so rare in a level 1 format like we're experiencing. But through Droll and Lock, with an SP Little Knight still in play, Impulse on field, they'll go ahead and use the Bystial Lubellion in grave. They'll send off the Magnamut, and on summon they'll attempt to use its effect. Well, I guess this is before the effect is activating. They're just going to go ahead and fire off Extinguish to go ahead and pop it. And also, I finally learned the difference between Extinguish and Contain. Good for me, right? And then now they're going to go ahead and use Bystial Baldrake here. Attempt to summon it by banishing the Jerry, or Gary the Runic Fangs, whatever Jerry, Gary, whatever you want to call it. They'll summon Baldrake. They'll activate another copy of Fountain. And it looks like before their turn is up, they'll go ahead and use Wanted here to go ahead and add back Diabellstar from the graveyard. And end phase, oh, I guess Magnamut isn't completely turned off. That can add back from the graveyard too. Forgot about the specifics of that. And then they're going to draw an original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye for turn. So, unless I'm seeing things, are they playing multiple copies? I guess that wouldn't be super surprising. I mean, it does get you access to one of the best cards in the entire deck. We're going to see Emergency here. Attempt to go ahead and reset Contain. Or at least try to? I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, it looks like they're just going to go ahead and special summon Diabell. It looked like they were using the effect Emergency to reset, but then just ended up summoning Diabellstar there. And it looks like on the summon of Diabellstar, they'll use Regain to go ahead and bring back Magnamut. Magnamut effect will activate. They will set another original Sinful from the deck. Or it might have been another copy of Wanted. Checking the graveyard here. Because they also did use the Impulse on the summon of Magnamut. Finally getting the opportunity to use that effect here, bringing out Turbulence. Pretty good card to be able to bring out in this situation. And now they're going to go ahead and fire off original Sinful Spoils here, the one that they drew for turn, thinking on what they want to send there. Maybe sending Diabellstar is not the thing you want to do, so they're going to go ahead and send off the SP Little Knight, which will make more sense here in just a moment as they bring out the Fire Hydrant. And Fire Hydrant will go ahead and search for a copy of Fire Engine. Just kidding, not for Fire Engine. Another copy of Impulse. And I mean, there really isn't a whole lot they can do here. They've already burned SP Little Knight. They've already burned Dark. They kind of need a way to clear everything on the field right now. They need to get rid of Fountain. They need to get rid of Regained. I mean, getting rid of Fountain is definitely priority number one. It's just dealing with this Baldrake right now is probably going to be the biggest issue because it does have a way to counteract extra deck monsters here, so they may need to force an early battle phase. But first, we're going to go ahead and use the Wanted in the grave, put back OSS, and draw one. I mean, I always just like kind of amazed at how insane that engine is. It's actually just crazy. It will be only a matter of time, in my opinion, before we see it wind up in the ban list in some way, shape, or form. And as expected, battle phase, they will go over the Baldrake here into Hida, and then into Selene. And then Selene bringing back the convenient spellcast in the graveyard and of Diabellstar into access code. Classic Selene access code line here. And they do have 3 different attributes engraved. They've got Light, Fire, and Dark. That convenient SP being put there as well. Being able to clear just pretty much everything. The Magnumlet, the Fountain, and the copy of Regained. And then they'll just go ahead and pass their end phase. They'll get that search of the Druis Worm, which, I mean, they do still have 1 Dark in the graveyard. And it looks like they did summon it there in the end phase, getting rid of Dark. And then they'll summon out Lubellion by sending off the Dark, or sending off the Druis Worm, rather. And Druis Worm will go ahead and send off the access code. And in response to the effect of Lubellion, they're going to go ahead and chain Impulse here. And then they're going to chain Wanted, and then chaining Droplet, sending off the Wanted. And they're going to go ahead and add another Diabellstar, it looks like, from the deck. And just trying to keep them off of any sort of play here. And Impulse will bring out the Fire Engine. They'll normal summon the Bystial Aliber, which is a level 4 tuner. So they're going to synchro 12 here into Centurion Legatia, which I believe on when it is special summon, it can just draw a card. It comes out at 3,500. And I'm not sure if it has another effect. I just remember if it's special when it draws a card. And they'll get to use Contain to negate its effects anyways. And they'll also get Fire Engine to bring out Impulse, or not Impulse, sorry, Airlifter. And they'll go ahead and fire off Tip here to add a Runic spell. Not sure which one that was. And they're just going to go ahead and set it. And they'll just go ahead and pass turn with a Legatia on field, just chilling there at 3,500, not really doing anything. And a lot of the extra deck at this point for Rescue Ace has been kind of burned through. Well, at least a lot of the power play cards like Dark, SP Little Knight, the Selene access code line, all that being exhausted. I mean, it's very clear that both these decks can grind to a great degree, especially when you take into account the fact that they haven't even resolved HQ yet. I think the card they added was Runic Destruction, the spell and trap pop. Summon Diabellstar there. Set original Sinful Spoils, drop it away, the Sinful Spoils to negate the Legatia. And I'm not actually sure, because it looked like they sent the set OSS to negate the Legation and have it. I'm not sure if OSS or Forbidden Drop can send cards that are set. Just gonna go ahead and pull this up really quick. Send any number of other cards from your hand and or field. Okay, it can be set cards. All right. For some reason, I thought it was the other way around. Yeah, so I believe what happened there while I was looking away is that they did try to go for the HQ. It did get popped by Destruction. They banished 4, swung in for some damage, passed turn there, and the Bystial Runic deck is literally top decking at this point. They set 1 and they realize there's not much they can do, so they admit defeat, and we are onto a Game 2 situation. Game 2 situation. We're just into Game 2. It's a Game 3 situation. That's when you really have an in quotes situation on your hands. I guess Game 2 is more just a regular occurrence, and I don't really know what I'm even saying at this point. I'm just saying words. But we're going to go ahead and see him bring out the good old Hugin. Go ahead and securing a copy of Fountain, a card that I wish personally would have been hit to 1 a long time ago alongside Tip, but we're still here just to suffer, unfortunately, in this new Runic format. I guess it's not like a new Runic format, but like it's always nice anytime, at least in my personal opinion, I'm not sure everybody shares this opinion, but like anytime Runic just kind of falls off the face of the map in a format, I'm always a fan. And anytime it pops its head back into the format, I'm like, can we just forget about this deck? Can we just let it go? Move on? Like, do people really like not having your battle phase that much? Like, not having your battle phase has got to be so annoying. Like, it just has to be. I'm going to see our Rescue Ace player normal summon Impulse here and just swing over the Hugin, and will return itself back to the extra deck, and then they're going to go ahead and set 3. And they'll attempt to pass. And looks like they're going to go ahead and special summon here off of this Runic spell, going for another Hugin. And they're just going to go ahead and use Fountain to draw 3. They'll pass turn, drawing another card, so draw 4 to start your turn. How's that sound? Activate Bystial Rebellion. I mean, I guess draw 3 is a hell of a drug, so I get the appeal to play the deck, but everything else just puts me to sleep. Not to mention losing random cards off the top of your deck is also infuriating. I mean, I didn't mean for this video to become a rant about how much I hate Runic, but I do apologize if it is becoming that. We're seeing him normal summon the Bystial Aliber and just use it as a level 4 tuner body here. Just to go ahead and synchro into Stardust Charge Warrior 2.0. The... oh my god, what's the name? Triage Master. And they're going to use Impulse. They'll Chain Ash, keeping them off engine, and they'll draw 1 card there. Triage Master, right? Yeah, Triage Levia. That used to be the rank 3 that you could play in Burning Abyss. I remember playing that in Burning Abyss a long time ago. The card was actually kind of insane. So it's cool to see a synchro version of the Triage name. And it's not obviously just I know it's not just Stardust Charge Warrior 2.0. I know it's got some other effects. It kind of reminds me of there's a Horus synchro that has different effects based on the type of materials used for it. I forget the name, but it's similar. Triage Master is similar. I think it's like if you use like, you know, a 2 and a 4, a 3 and a 3, or a 1 and a 5, or something like that to make it will determine what effect you can use. And I believe 2 and 4 is draw a card. And they're just going to go ahead and SP Little Knight, set a card, and pass turn here. And we'll see what Rescue Ace can get done here this turn. They do have an evenly matched in hand, it looks like. Not really doing them too good. That's the one thing I dislike about cards like Evenly and Lightning Storm, is sometimes they are obviously fantastic cards to see in certain matchups. But other times, like, your opponent has like 1 card set or like 2 cards total on field. Using them right off the rip like that sometimes just feels so bad. Getting such little value on such a high power card. And then if you don't end up using them, you get to a situation like this where they end up just kind of sitting in your hand, just doing nothing. Super unfortunate. So we're going to see Droplet here. Both players on Forbidden Droplet. And looks like they're going to go ahead and Droplet the Turbulence as it tries to swing into the SP Little Knight. If only they would have played that HQ beforehand. We gave it that 500 attack boost to be able to still attack over the Little Knight. But regardless, we're going to recycle 4 and draw 1. Just kidding, it's getting Ash Blossomed. Trying to recycle 2 emergencies there. They got Super Poly and one of the Rescue Ace traps set still. And we're going to see Bystial Runic draw for turn. Looks like Tip off the top. Banishing a Prod of Prosperity. Adding a copy of Runic Destruction. And then Fountain's going to go ahead and draw. And looks like they did Destruction away the field spell. And now we're going to see Magnamut get summoned, banishing the Tri-Edge. Magnamut effect, and then we're going to bring out Bystial Rebellion by sending off the Magnamut. Well, At least they were going to, but it looks like maybe they have something here on the summon. They do have Super Poly set. They have 2 Darks. Yep, so they're going to go ahead and fire off Super Poly here. Go for Mud Dragon of the Swamp. Getting SP Little Knight out of rotation and preventing the Bystial Lubellion from coming out, at least that easily. They do have Ball Drake still, so they'll go ahead and special summon that, and then Lubellion will send off the Ball Drake, and then Lubellion effect will probably grab the Branded Regain, get that going in rotation. Such an incredible card. And looks like they're just going to go end phase here. Again, no battle phase, kind of sucks, so they're just going to go ahead and add the Druis Worm, summon the Druis Worm, put one back, and then draw, and then fully pass turn there over to our Rescue Ace Duelist. Not looking too hot here. Destruction's going to go ahead and fire off on the back row. It's a copy of Extinguish, banishing 4. There goes Contain, a Wanted, and a Diabell Star. And they'll use Wanted to put back Diabell Star to try and draw. And it looks like we're chaining Tip here, adding a copy, I believe, Golden Droplet. At least it looks like they were using the Wanted effect there. I don't know. A little confusing, but looks like they're just going to go ahead and emit defeat. And we're going to go ahead and see Rescue Ace go first here in Game 3. Normal summon Airlifter. Airlifter effect. Go ahead and search for Emergency. Emergency effect. Go ahead and summon out the Hydrant. Tributing off the Airlifter Hydrant effect here. Grabbing Shocker. Turbulence. They've got Droll and Ash in hand. So they are kind of strapped here with some non-engine. Special summon out Turbulence by banishing 2. And then Turbulence effect right off the rip here. It will resolve. No imperms, no nothing. Setting looks like Rescue or Alert. Both traps and Emergency. Then link 2 into Proxy F Magician. And this basically just lets them fusion summon. Pretty cool extra deck tech as they go ahead and summon Preventer by banishing Hydrant. That gets them access to Mud Dragon through Proxy F Magician. And Preventer will bring back Airlifter for a rank 4 play for none other than the GOAT himself, Gaga Cowboy. Pretty impressive Cowboy line there, I'm not going to lie. And Burning for 800 was set 4. And this is going to put a lot of pressure on the Bystial Runic deck here, as if they use any spells, they won't have a battle phase, and as time comes ticking down here, it's going to put them on a clock. They do have Evenly Matched, which is not necessarily helping their case when it comes to getting in damage, but will trade well with a lot of the board there. They do chain Emergency. And yeah, they're going to bring out the Hydrant. Tip gets ashed. Destruction on the back row. And they're going to go ahead and banish 4. And then Flashing Fire out for a Runic, and they just defeat as they do not have a way to deal damage there. And very unfortunate. What do you guys think about maining or siding time cards specifically this format? Let me know down in the comments below. And last but not least, a big shout out goes to our current Divine level channel members who are Pony Start, Cadillac, Screen, Misfid, H8 Cyber, and Robin's Assistant. Thank you guys so much as always for showing me kind and very generous support of the channel.